city is taking an aggressive stance, they say, to get bad guys off the streets. And Pix 11 News is there. Dozens of officers surrounded this apartment where alleged gang members live. They're accused of terrorizing NYCHA residents in the Astoria and Woodside houses. Within minutes, Dejon Price is taken out in handcuffs. Cops say Price and 22 others are part of two rival gangs at war over turf and power. In surveillance video obtained by Pix 11 News, you can see them shooting at each other and innocent bystanders running for cover. This all happened in the hot summer months with children trying to buy ice cream. They too.
Good. I'm glad. I hope every single one of them were caught and prosecuted. It's a shame what our world is going to, but hey, they say gangs were around since the beginning of time, so this is nothing new. I know personally how people that are in their lifestyle, I can say I know how their lives are affected. I never desired to be in one. Y'all know how I feel about thugs. Y'all know how I feel about stuff like that. But the thing is, I know how people's lives can be affected and the people around them, even all the way down to their children. Like I told y'all before, it's no secret that I have two relatives that let's just say they were with guys that were into that lifestyle. And like I told y'all before, if y'all go back and watch my story on the 3 rappers that were found deceased, like I told y'all, I was alluding to the cousin that I told you about. They are sisters. So if you go back and watch the story, you can kind of see where I was going with it. Going back to how they always had to move, the police raids in their house, whatever you call it, when the police come and got to shake everything down. It was some heavy stuff. So it affects the children, affects everyone around them. And I'm glad when they said they are taking an aggressive stance at, trying to basically capture them to clean up the streets, because it's bad when the kids in the street are basically running, ducking for cover, basically, because, BULLET doesn't have nobody name on it. We hear about stories all the time when it's, people getting caught in the crossfire. It's really bad. Like I told y'all before, the story about when I could be in the store with, my cousin at the time. It's times when she'll be so paranoid, like she rushing me to come in and out the store, because she was like, come on, just go in there, get what you're going to get and come out. Like, she had to send me in there because they don't know me. They don't know my face, but it was bad to the point where she was scared somebody would spot the car, and she would be fussing, she was like, look, do you not realize they could see this car and they don't care who in it, but just because they know that this car is associated with him, they'll light this car up. I got you in here. I got my babies in here. Like, I'm in here. Like, she would be fussing real bad. That's how bad it was. Like, she was paranoid to even leave the house. Okay. So when I tell you, I've known and I've seen people that are in that lifestyle, how it affects the whole community around them. It could be times when, she'll be a nervous wreck. They come in just to light her door up, if you know what I mean. Just to get close to him. I have seen the things that she has gone through at a young age, and I think that's probably contributes to my character now, as far as in, I don't like thugs. That upon many other things, but that was a contributing factor to me being the way that I am now. I would not give a thug the time of day. I told you I had one guy friend that was like a really in that lifestyle. And if you go back to that story I did, I told y'all how he basically said, I'm going to have to start talking to you. And I said, why? He said, because I found out somebody put money over my head. And at that time, I didn't know anything about that. He had to explain it to me. And I said, well, what they got to do? I didn't like him, but he turned out to be good people. He was actually kind of cool once I got to know him, because I told him up front, I don't like thugs. And he said, well, okay, that's cool. Can I be your friend? And he seemed like, he was pretty cool. And at the time, he would take me to school. And, as I got to talking to him, he seemed like he didn't push up on me. He just could be the cool homeboy. He was older than me. Like I told you, I always talk to guys that were older than me. He was really cool. He said, I don't even go see my daughter anymore. I said, what? He said, I don't even go because he said when it's stuff like that going on, they'll follow you. They put people out as a manhunt. So if they see that car, they already know what's up, how to handle the situation, So, and he would say how he was scared to even go see his daughter because he don't want to go see his daughter and, bang, 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 So he said he was gonna lay low until he figure out his next move. And I haven't heard from him since. I hope he's all right. But I gave him a hug and, that was that. And I said, well, can I at least walk you to the car? He said, no, I don't want people to know your unit. Cause at the time I was staying by myself. Like, I don't even want them to come messing with you. So, yeah. So when they say that basically when people in the comments saying they'll make it rain on the whole community, I believe it. Even when I told my guy friend, I told my guy friend about some of the things that was going on with my cousin, and she was fussing at me. She was like, wait a minute, why are you telling him that? You don't know what he rep. You don't know, you got to be careful. I didn't know. I didn't know about stuff like that. You got to be careful. It wasn't until she explained it to me that, basically you got to be careful telling people that you are close to people that rep the side. Because, see, I didn't even know at the time my guy friend was their enemy. If you know what I mean, like, he, which I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just talking to him about it, about how I was really trying to get advice from him about how I didn't know how to say it, but I didn't want to really be associated with her no more, even though she was which we fell out anyway. But I didn't really want her coming around there, because of everything she had going on. And see, versus him, he was trying to step away, so it was kind of different. She would come around and she knew she was in deep stuff, but he would come around, but he already knew he had to dial it back, if that made sense. And it wasn't until he never told me what he rep, but I told her, I said, and she was like, well, what he rap? Anyway, I didn't know about, stuff like that. And she said, she was like, oh my goodness, you telling him, da-da-da. She said, I hope you didn't tell him why I stayed. I said, oh, why would I tell? She said, oh, thank God. She was like, girl. I'm like, what? She's like, that is our enemy. What do you mean? So she had to explain it to me. That kind of stuff is very sticky. And it affects the whole community. And the people around you. So, I'm glad, in a nutshell, I'm glad they're getting them up off the street, because nobody deserves to be in a community where they have to live in the hell of GUN fire, because I know YouTube funny about some words. Nobody deserves that. And if you are living in these communities, or you are associated with people that live that kind of lifestyle, try to disassociate yourself with them, because you don't want to be caught in a sticky situation because of things that they have brought on themselves, or the people that they associate themselves with. Like I told y'all with the store situation, she would be so upset because she would be so paranoid, and she would get an attitude when I would tell her things like, well, why don't you just stop talking to him? If he's putting you in these type of situations, you don't need to be talking to him. you know, and I got kids with him. What you mean, you know, da da da. So just when y'all living in these communities and y'all, you know, it's bad. It's bad. I'm glad I never had to go through that, but I think that's something that a lot of people I can say it seems like when people grow up in that kind of community, it seems like it's kind of a norm for them to be laying there at night and hear bang, 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 crack, 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 crack. You know, like it seems like it's normal to them. I didn't grow up in no white collar neighborhood. I grew up in a decent neighborhood. A lot of the things that I went through was basically stemming from school, like the kids picking on me having to go fight, you know, stuff like that. But for the most part, I didn't grow up hearing a lot of, you know, crack, crack, pop, pop, you know, and for them, it was kind of normal for them, you know. I remember times when she would be braiding my hair because she was older than me. She'd be braiding my hair, and out of nowhere we just turned it, and I'm you know, I'm jumping, I'm running, you know. She's like, girl, sit down. I'm like, did you hear that? She's like, yeah, they do it all the time. Like, to me, you living in the middle of the wild wild west, they don't bother you, you know. Nah, girl, they do it all the time. You better stop jumping, because these braids gonna be uneven, they're gonna be effed up, you know. Like, she would be just keep doing what she doing, and it's like it didn't even bother her. So, you know, we could be walking from the car to the apartment at night. Let's say we just gonna stop and take a pause and go get something to eat. Out of nowhere, you could hear that crack, crack. Me, I remember one time I hit the ground, almost tried to climb under the car. I didn't know what the hell was going on. She's like, girl, come on. You what are you doing? You know, I didn't know what the hell girl. Anyway, I'm talking about girl. I'm talking to y'all. Anyway, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then I was reading in the comments, some people saying, why they running for when people, what do you mean why you running for when people start doing stuff, start pop, pop, pop? What do you mean? What do you mean? I tell you what, you go out there where they at and you stand in the middle when they start acting like that. You go do it. I'm with the people that was running. I would run. Forget that mess. I got a life to live for. Okay? But other than that, yeah, y'all, I'm glad they cleaning up them streets, because that kind of stuff can get wild. Even whether you live that lifestyle, whether you know somebody lives that lifestyle, or even somebody you know that is associated with somebody that lived that lifestyle, not just when you stay in the community. More of the story, I want y'all to take heed. It's not just because they stay in the community. Even when you are around that kind of stuff, I'm glad the cops took the initiative to say, you know what, this could get wild. This could get very crazy. So let's, you know, I'm glad they put their pictures up there to let them know, hey, we on to y'all. We coming for y'all. We don't like what y'all doing. It's not safe. Put them in the prison where they belong. People always say they don't like lawmakers. I'm gonna be honest. Some people, when I don't talk about politics often. The last couple of times I talk about politics, that's when I had to learn you never talk about politics on the jobs, on any of your job. That's why I keep my opinion on politics myself. I'm not a real big politics. I'm kind of really straight to the point with my beliefs. You call it what you want to call it, but I'm not really into politics. But I will tell you this. I had a colleague one time to tell me I sound like I'm a Republican. But I don't consider myself a Republican. I don't consider myself a Democrat. I just have, I believe what I believe in. And I'm just one of those people that believe when people commit gruesome crimes, they need to go away and they don't need to come out. That's just what I mean. That's just what I believe, and that's what I mean. And I say what I mean. I mean what I say for the most part. And that's just how I feel. I believe, When they lighten up these communities like that, they don't need to come out. I'm one of those people that believe if you do it once, you'll do it again. And that's just how I feel. And I'm with some of the lawmakers when they create these laws. And people always say lawmakers, need their aid whoop, but when they vote on this stuff, and I'm not one that, I tell you like this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not going out nobody building, holding up those signs saying change the laws. I'm the one that's going to walk right past with my hot dog and my Mountain Dew and act like I ain't seen you. You know how you be seeing them pictures where people be holding them signs calling themselves on strike and stuff? And do you see people just walking past like they ain't standing there, like they basically minding their business? Like, I'm not coming to walk with y'all. I'm one of those people. Okay, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm minding my business because I don't want y'all to change nothing. I want y'all to clean up these streets. Okay, I want y'all to, and that's just how I feel. And I'm glad they took the initiative to get these people up off the street. And I hope they continue to do more busts, more shakedowns, more raids. I want them to make these communities safer for everybody, and that's just how I feel.